Ulonka tabati yada to ye kuma da ifa. Inu to ye ko je lon fi bipa. Oba tala, oba takutakun. Songo Eshu, Ogun Oya Osun. Kini ṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o. Ó jẹ́ lọ jára rẹ̀.
Alafia, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the African Spirituality Experience. I am your host, Arisha Bemi, and we are back today, tribe, with another banger with the elders of the night. And I'm definitely looking forward to this conversation. And before we get into it, shout out to the tribe, shout out to the Patreon community, shout out to the new subscribers to the channel, as well as the new channel membership subscribers and the new Patreon subscribers. Definitely got a lot in store for y'all. It's been quite the journey in regards to like this technology, and we were just talking about that backstage. So I definitely feel like we'll probably get more into it. But with that, without further ado, OJ Yemi, I'll first and foremost give gratitude and thanks to you for coming back into the community and with chopping it up with the tribe, but also bringing some company with you tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, do you want to introduce the elders of the night?
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to introduce Ifa Dunki Yemi. She is one of the strongest Ifa practitioners that I know that's very quietly kept. On my journey, she helped shape and mold and really showed me how to be an Ifa priest and actually how to go about being Ifa. This sister has did initiations, paid for people initiations, just really been a supporter, always connecting babalaos and priests to help you on the journey. So anything that anybody needs to know about Ifa Dunki Yemi is the person. Her wisdom and her courage and her strength is just phenomenal. High Priestess Amisat is Coptic, but she's universal. They're both daughters of the mothers. They have daughters, and just got my back, and I got their back. These are sisters I will go to the earth with.
I say. Well, a very powerful introduction. Listen, I don't feel like we need too much of an introduction for the elders of the night and the mothers, but this is a big mother's house, and so I'm giving thanks and gratitude to having 3 of the mothers here with us tonight. So we definitely turning up this mother energy and ashe, man. So I give thanks and gratitude to all of you, for joining us. And just to dive right into it, the title alone, very, very powerful title. Very, very powerful title. So the RAstoration of the divine feminine and the RAsurrection of our queen mothers. That's powerful. Wow. So look, I just want to know, like, I know it came from one of y'all. So where did the title come from in regards to the RAstoration?
That's OJ Yemi.
I say.
In my meditation, I'm like, I know I wanted to talk about the mothers and our relationship to the birth mother.
Mm-hmm.
And just mothers in general. And I'm like, okay, what can we do? And it just said the RAstoration and the RAsurrection of the queen mothers. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. But not Queen, KWEEN. And how I got that is from a sister named Iwa Oluwa. She has a song called Kween, and that's how she spelled it. So in Ghana, they have the queen mothers. And that's what they're actually called, queen mothers. So I wanted us as sistering to really have an understanding of exactly what it means to be a queen mother and how our birth mothers were the original queen mothers. So that's how it came about.
I say. Yeah, now that's powerful. And we've been doing this for really since the beginning of this channel, since the inception of it. We've been saluting the mothers and paying homage and gratitude. But it's funny because there was a timeline where I think it might have been, I don't know, like the first year or so, where it was hard for me to get, female guests on here to get the feminine energy to come through. And man, once it's like I was able to get a few, and man, it was like it's just kind of the floodgate just opened up, and so now we got a ton of feminine energy. So I'm definitely grateful, for that, to kind of bring the balance, because we can't have we can't have it being one-sided, and it starts with the mothers. So with that, when it comes to some of the,
Before we get started, Risha Bambi, can we open with the oath to the ancestors? I'm gonna say it's gonna do the oath to the ancestors.
you're right. Yep. Let me pump my brakes because I'm speeding. Let me slow down. Yes, ma'am. Please do.
I'd like to do the oath. It was written by Chief Elder Dr. Ray Havens, and it goes like this. O ancestors, blacker than 1,000 midnights, African ancestors, it is to you that we, your children, give respect and honor. O ancestors, we call upon you and welcome you in this place. African ancestors, let your presence fill this place. O ancestors who have been purposely excluded from the history books so that the world would not know of your greatness. Our African ancestors who gave civilization to the world. Our African ancestors who gave the arts to the world. Our African ancestors who gave music to the world. Our African ancestors who gave the sciences to the world. Our African ancestors who gave mathematics to the world. Our African ancestors who gave medicine to the world. Our African ancestors who gave literature to the world. Our African ancestors who gave philosophy to the world. Our African ancestors who gave consciousness to God consciousness, to the world. Our ancestors, we thank you for devoting your life to make a future for us, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Now stand with us, strengthen us, guide us, teach us, and protect us from the snare of the enemies. Rise up, O African ancestors, and let our enemies be scattered, and give us the wisdom and the boldness to deal with our oppressors and those who would hinder the liberation and empowerment of our people. Rise up, O African ancestors, and live in us, and we will not fail to honor you. We will not fail to respect you. We will not fail to hear you, and we will not betray you. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Ashe, ashe, oh.
I say, ooh. You know what's? I feel like this is definitely divine alignment, because the thing that I was fighting with for the last 3 days was literally to get the book for the ancestors, ancestral guide on shadow work, uploaded and put on the website and get it out for the tribe. And it's like it was a fight, it was a challenge. So I know for a fact, I'm very confident that it's going to be a powerful piece of work, because anytime I've ever tried to do anything, it's always some sort of struggle or challenge or battle or wall that got to be broke down and knocked down in order for it to come to fruition. So I feel like this is more than divine alignment, to have the mothers here and then opening up with paying homage to the ancestors, knowing the work that I've been trying to do for the last 3 days just to get that work, to the world for the ancestors, and in honor of and reverence of the ancestors. So I give gratitude and thanks for the powerful prayer. All right. So in regards to now the RAstoration and the resurrection, where would we start? What would be the starting point in regards to like elevating, our queens, our young queens primarily, especially like the ones who are in the hip hop era, or that's in this bad BIT, what else, era, and all that foolishness that's going on, because a lot of it going on, and I feel like it's all strategic, and it's all, it's strategies of war. But like, where would we start in regards to kind of elevating and restoring this divine feminine energy that we need so dearly?
Well, to me, I think we would start with the birth mother, the relationship with the birth mother. That starts everything. She's the first person that we see, the first person that we meet. She's the nurturer. So often we don't have a relationship with our birth mother. So me, that's the starting point for all things, especially for the divine feminine and for sistering on the journey or on the path.
I share. And so when you say that, because I'm a proud self-proclaimed mama's boy. I talk to my moms pretty much every day, and I do that religiously because I just give gratitude first and foremost to have her here with me, but also just to cherish the wisdom and the insight, the understanding, all that comes with communicating with her. How do we start that? Because there's some people now who have challenges, with their relationship with their mother. I know several people that I know personally that have challenges with their children or their daughters, I should say. And I know you do a lot of healing work. So where would we go to repair the lines of communication in regards to mother-daughter relationships?
Do you one of you all want to take that, or
You can have it, but I'll add to it.
okay, Ifa Donkey?
Well, I I hate to make just generalizations. Uh but I believe I have observed these past couple of generations a bit of a decline in that arena. Um I am well, actually I'll be 70, God willing, tomorrow. And so with the teachers in school, and community, my interactions, we are finding there are more children who are actually grandchildren who are being raised by the grandmothers. Um, and that's for various reasons, right? Uh, but just in general, um, we seem to have more younger parents, women becoming younger parents. Um, and there's the influence of the father and that relationship. Um, so I guess what I'm talking about is a bit of a decline. Whereas in my age group, in my community, my inner circle, my grandparents played a role in assisting my parents. There are some households where you have the parent and the grandparent, and sometimes the great grandparent is present.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that support is just that does so much for the child, gives the child so much confidence, and there's that stability that takes place. Um, but when things aren't as settled with the mother, the birth mother, okay, and that can take place for many reasons. Things become not so settled with the child. When the child knows this homework is going to be done by this person, it's going to be checked. We do this together, we read, we do our chores together. That day to day stuff, that stability stuff. And just like you mentioned, brother, I talk to my mother every day.
I
My
share.
mother's in Chicago, but I'm here. We speak every day, and sometimes 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Um, so, but there's that stability. I know what's happening with her. What can so all of these things our children observe and they listen. Okay, they listen. I still remember the times when my parents and grandparents they had adult conversations, and we had to go to another room.
That's
I
right.
think our children are being exposed to too much too soon.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I have given birth to 2 children, but I raised 3. But 2 of those girls, those children that I raised, I spoke with them today about a parent who had a problem where, you know, the child punched child punched the mother, and you know, this one daughter's in Chicago, the other one is here in the Bay Area with me. So they weren't on the phone at the same time. They said the same thing, that they knew that if they punched me in the face, that they could expect anything. There was this fear, this respect.
Yes.
Okay, they knew that they couldn't do that.
Mm.
Okay. So I'm going to say, you know, respect, honor, stability. When a child knows that, hey, that snack is going to be waiting for them when they get off out of school. I was a latchkey because both my parents worked.
Mm.
But I knew that I'm dating myself now. I knew that when we got home, we put our chores, we put our pot pies in the oven, and we could watch Dark Shadows or something, and you know, but there was that stability, there was that whatever. And then when my mom came in and she walked down that long hallway, that old-fashioned tile, that black and white tile, when she started hitting that coming down, she knew the breakfast dishes better be done, or you know, that bedspread, that one that would put the lint all over you, it better have been on the bed. All of that, okay, need to be in order. Okay, the homework needed to be in order and ready to be checked, because she would come in and she'd start that dinner. Okay, and I had better had that chicken out, defrosted, and all of that. So, um, I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about our children being set in front of TV for hours on end, you know, iPads, telephones, all of that, playing these games. And some of these games are very violent. So, what makes a child want to feel like they can take on, you know, the mother or the father and punch them or whatever? So, uh, you know, we have to uphold some sort of decorum. You know, we say, okay, I'm a queen, however you want to spell it, but how are you representing that? Okay. You know, because over the past 10 years, I've seen things taking a left. Now, I know I just gave a not so happy or rosy picture of things. And then, you know, there's the incident with, you know, substance abuse,
Mm.
how that plays a role. Okay. Mental illness. Uh, you know, unchecked and untreated. So I think these are some of the issues, and a lack of spiritual belief system and practice.
Mm. I say.
Okay, I'm throwing that in there now.
Yeah.
Okay, let me sit down. I'm gonna.
No. Listen, I love it. You didn't
Mhm,
know, you didn't go too far. No, that's exactly what we need, and I really appreciate you for sharing it, because that was some of the conversations I had with my moms and pops today, is about
mhm,
how to deal with some of the behaviors of the children of today, because it's different. It's totally different. And when you talk about the respect thing, for me, that's my number one thing that can
mhm,
make you want to throw lightning bolts all over the place, because it's like, just don't do that. You know, it's so much easier to be graceful to people. It's so much easier to be cordial and respectful to people than it is to, you know, to be negative or to be disrespectful, or the cussing. And, you know, and I see that
mhm.
all the time. Like, I'm talking about from like elementary to middle school.
Right.
They're moving like that young. So it's like, that's a real epidemic that we really got to figure out a way to kind of like recuperate and reel them back in, to give them that homegrown nurturing, because everything you just spoke of, that's how I was raised. I don't know
Mhm,
anything different than that. And I love that too, to be
mhm,
able to go to my grandma's house and to be able, you know, to have those same very similar experiences that you had. And like, that's,
mhm.
without that, I don't feel like I am the man that I am today, not even close, because it took for that village to be able to raise this child, you know, and I do my best to do the same, you know, not only with my own children, but in my community and with, you know, the village abroad. So it's like, I see how everything you just said is spot on. And that's why I was looking forward to having this conversation, to see where we can get some of the wisdom, from the elders of the night to hopefully to pay it forward and to activate it and put it into action, take action on it to be able to do whatever we can to help, redirect our children.
Yeah. I can tell you, my mom, she left work for work very early in the morning. They woke me up, it was still dark out. So my father would get me dressed, wash my face, we'd take me in the bathroom, and I still remember that little white radio playing in the bathroom, telling me about the weather and that, and he would carry me to his mother's house,
Mm,
his mother and his father's house.
mm,
And they put me to bed, they woke me up, they took me to school for a kindergarten and first grade. That's how my parents did it. They hustled. I saw them work and sacrifice for what they wanted. They
mm,
wanted to buy a house, okay? Raise their family in a house. So I saw them do that work,
mm,
okay? And then as we got older, we were able to pitch in and do things.
mm,
And my grandmother took care of me very well. She walked me to school, walked me back from school, and I ate dinner with my grandfather. We
mm,
sat together and ate dinner, right? So to me, that was really cool because when the family got together, the children had a children's table. So we sat together and we ate. And my grandfather taught me to hold a conversation and to hold my head up and look at him in the eye when I talk. And I love my grandfather so much. Um, And of course, I love my grandmother too because she was just right there. She would cut our watermelon and do all of that and serve us and everything. As a matter of fact, I don't ever remember sitting and having a meal with my paternal grandmother. But anyway, um, that was my nurturing. That was my father getting me, and half the time my head would be, leaning over like that. He'd be washing my face, and then he'd just sweep me up, carry me over his shoulder, and into the car, and get me to where he has to go, and then get to work.
right.
So, but when there are adults or mentors around with no direction, no guidance, they're sitting up and they're watching TV all day, they're listening to music where women are being denigrated and called the B word and this, that, and the other. Where does the child learn the difference? Because when my grandmother watched her little stories, she did that during the time of my naps.
Mm,
And then when I wasn't napping, she was engaging with me.
mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That key word right there, engaging. I think that's definitely a huge one. Because the tablets, the phones, all the devices, the electronics, they've taken over. And mind you, they came out when I was young, like 80s babies. I think Nintendo. What was the first one? I think the first one was it Coleco? ColecoVision, I think, was the first one. And then from Coleco, I think it was
Mhm.
Nintendo, and then Sega, and so on and so. But I say all that to say that was the age when I grew up where the technology began to come into play. It was nowhere near what it was then, what it is now. Because even with the graphics and the technology not being as futuristic as it is now, we still went outside. We still went outside and played basketball. We went outside
Yeah.
and played football. We rode our bicycles. We skateboarded.
Yeah.
We did all those things. Even though we had the games, that wasn't enough for us. Like it was like, nah, we're gonna do the real thing. But now it's like these children are so like zombified. Like it's like if they don't have them devices, it's almost like a heroin addict, trying to get them, like they have withdrawals. And it's like, that's a very dangerous space
Mm-hmm.
that we're in, especially considering the people or the parasites who are running this system that we live in. They're doing their best to create this thing called transhumanism, where they want to take people out of the real reality and get all of us to become slaves to the virtual reality. So I feel like it's a real war that we're in regards to the minds and spirits of our children. So yeah, I definitely I agree 1,000,000%. And how do we use the wisdom of the mothers because I feel like there's no more powerful force on the planet or in the universe for that matter than the mother. So how do we kind of tap into that power and use it, for good, to save our children?
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Queen.
I think that first of all, we have forgotten that we choose our birth parents. We choose our mothers.
Mm.
And in choosing our mothers, there's no guide to be a mother.
Mm.
The nurturing starts in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you said, it's designed where the mother and the daughter don't get along. That's a program that was ran.
Mm-hmm.
And the trauma, whatever trauma that child suffered, has to be brought to a place of wholeness. I didn't get along with my mother growing up, but that was a piece of trauma that I suffered that I wasn't aware that I should have told her about it. But I made sure before she closed her eyes that I brought our relationship to a place of wholeness.
Mm.
So in my practice, when there's a mother-daughter relationship, I ask the sister to call her mother and tell the mother that you love her. And you ask for forgiveness and you tell her you forgive her.
Mm. Mm.
That's how it all starts. I also do a practice where if you cannot do that, get a picture of your mother. Go through your umbilical cord and
Yeah.
start doing the practice of sending love and keeping and knowing that in choosing your birth parent for whatever reason, whatever the karma is, I go back to the karma because that's a big piece there. And we've been taught, I grew up in an era, as Ifadunki said, where we all ate dinner together. Everything was done together as a family and as a whole. It is no longer now that the parent is maybe 25 or 30, or the family community isn't there. The average grandmother is young, or the child is being raised by the tablet, the child is being raised by the TV. But the children of this decade aren't asking the elders. When I was growing up, I wanted to be with the elder sisters because they had the wisdom. But then we have to hold a different vision of the children also. Now, just because there are tablets and phones and stuff like that, we have to take and say, no, you have to take some time away from this tablet. You have to take some time away from this phone. But the relationship between the mother and daughter is a very delicate balance and harmony. The daughter has to respect the mother, and the mother has to respect the daughter. That goes both ways. But we, as the daughter, has to realize until you have your own children, you don't know what your mother experienced. You don't know what she's been through. And I always say there's no rule book to be a parent. I had sons, but I have granddaughters. And I've always left that door of communication open. But in that, there was a level of respect. We've lost that. We've lost the morals. I grew up in the church. Because that's what my mother knew. Um, what do we do? We pray together. What do we do together as a family? So it has to go back to going back, and we say, oh, those are we used to do. That's old stuff, but it's the old stuff that worked.
Yeah. And there's definitely a lot I feel like has a lot's definitely changed. And the thing, I was the same way when it comes to like being around the elders. I figured out my little way of being able to not get kicked out the room, because I'm sure y'all know the elders didn't like us being around them, so they would kick us out the room. And so what I would do is figure out how can I be of any kind of service to them. Like I don't care if they needed me to go and get the smearing off or the ginger ale or the ice, or they needed me to, you know what I'm saying, like go get them a plate or whatever it was that they, that they needed me to do. I would do it like that way. I can kind of hover around and just linger. I just linger around them. So it worked out in my favor because by me doing it, once I kind of wiggled my way into doing that, it just became a norm, especially when we had like the big family gatherings and, the family reunions. The family would come from other towns or states or whatever. Like it was just, I got to kind of be the kid that was able to be around them because I was going to do something for them. But that in return for me, I got to hear the wisdom. I got to hear the knowledge. It wasn't about me being nosy, but I just looked at it like they were the leaders of the family and they had the most experience, they had the most wisdom, they had the most knowledge. So I wanted to be around that so I could soak it up and just absorb it. And it's like I used to do the same exact thing, but nowadays you're right. Like the children, they have like almost zero respect for the elders. Not all of them, because there are a lot that are. And let me say this: there are young kings and young queens that every time I get a chance to speak in front of the youth, it blows my mind of how advanced or how mature or how, just their frequency and their mind is in a whole nother realm. I'm like, yo, if I could have had my mind like how yours is when I was your age, oh man, I can't imagine where I would be in life now, because there are some of them that are like that too. So I want to make sure I
Yes.
give them credit. And I'm proud to, be able to say that, because some of them, they blow my mind, in a positive way with just how advanced they are. So those are the ones I'm grateful for. But then, unfortunately, there's so many more that I feel like, kind of fall into the category where we are. And I feel like the respect thing, like I know, the social media, I know the movies, the music, all that. I know all that plays a part, but the one thing that I struggle with, or that's a challenge for me, is like knowing how intelligent they are, but knowing that how they're not using it to its potential because of being influenced by these other things. So
Well, what did Elijah Muhammad say? He said, if there's nothing on the child's mind, it's because there was nothing on the mama's mind.
mm, mm,
Fannie Lou Hammer says that you could tell a race of beings by its sistering. So it goes back to the mother. If the mother is a nurturer, if the mother is raising, because the mother is the educator, the
yes.
mother is the teacher. So if the mother is educating and teaching her children, what are the children going to be?
Mm, yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
speak for Amansat. She raises her grandchildren. It's 3 generations.
Mm,
She's in a 3 generation household.
mm,
That's
Her
right.
children, her grandchildren know about the ancestors. They
mm,
worship the ancestors.
mm,
So, as Ifadoki said, what's the spiritual foundation that you're giving your children?
mm.
And I'm gonna you go to the floor and let Amansat take over.
Yes. Please
Well,
do. I want to hear about that.
well, it's absolutely right that when you live in the household with your grandchildren and children, it definitely brings a benefit, because then I can share my history, my family's history, whatever the ancestors give me, because my family, we were taught to be afraid of the ancestors because they were, demonized and ghostly and whatever. But it was not until I came into maturity and spirituality that I realized that the ancestors were my first defense,
Mm,
and that those who loved me were those who cared about me. So I wanted to share that with them because they know me. And I tell them, the day that I'm not in a body, but I will always be with you.
mm,
And so I will protect you just like I do now. I will give you information that will, uh, if you all listen and obey some of the information that I give you, it was not to harm you. It's only
mm,
to protect you. And so we had my daughter's grandmother on her father's side passed. She was very, very close. Not that she wasn't close to my mother, but she was very close to her. She was a spiritual teacher. She was a minister. She was a lot. So she was a great foundation in our family. She didn't really know about ancestors before she left here, but because they knew she loved them, I could tell them that she is with us. So what do? We celebrate all the things that we knew she loved, right? Her birthday, her her transition date. She loved balloons, and so the smallest one, who's now 10, she's been calling on her since she was what, 3, 5 years old.
Mm.
And so we speak of her as if she's at the dinner table because she is always in our household. She's always mentioned. We always say her name. And so we give homage, we give honor to our ancestors. But I want to just touch on also about the respect. Um, you have to have a standard. I hear often the Queen OJ, Goddess OJ say, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. If you don't
Right.
have a standard that you are um, teaching the children, like, first of all, your tone. You do not get to talk to me like you talking to your friend. And they'll deny it, but I tell them, I know energy, right? I felt that. I re, and I'm gonna let you know I'm not gonna allow you to do that. So correct when you're speaking to an adult. I need you to get your tone in a child's way. Not that you have to be submissive. I remember when my daughter first started kindergarten, we were in the South, and the kindergarten teacher, my daughter came home with a note and she had been crying. And I'm like, this was just a half a day. And what was the problem? She said, I got in trouble because I wouldn't say yes, ma'am.
Mm.
I was livid. She was a white woman in a southern state. I said, I didn't raise her to say yes, ma'am. I raised her to say yes and no. And that is going to be good enough, or we will go to the Board of Education. So
Mm.
you have to be involved. We have conversations to and fro. I chauffeur. I chauffeur them everywhere. I chauffeur my daughter everywhere. Why? Because that let me know who her friends are, what's on her mind. If you're not conversating and the other thing, let me back it up, is trust. Don't
Mm.
lie to them. Tell them the truth on the level in which they can accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So when life moves on, they will remember that through it all, you told me the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
truth was healing, and it was also a place of safety because mama gonna fix it. Mama gonna help me untangle it and
Mm.
look at it from a different perspective. I don't ever want life to get so overwhelming that you feel like you can't cope with it, or you want to take your life because you couldn't see through it. So
Mm.
that in itself gave the children the opportunity to learn how to make their own decisions. Character. I tell
Mm.
my grandson, he was the oldest, and he's slick, he's smart, oh, and he's handsome, and he all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he would come visit, I couldn't be in the room all the time. And so he had work to do and he had workbooks and so forth that his mom was. I'm going to wrap this up, but to make a long story short, he had an option to look in the back of the book, like they give the teachers answers. And so I let him be in the room by himself, and then I would come back. I said, "You finished?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Did you cheat?" And he stopped and he was like, he know, he know not to lie to me. Because I told him early, if the police come here today and I ask you, did you do it? You tell me, yes, I want to be able to believe you to the grave. Do not lie to me. And then he said, well, there was one question. Before I told him that, I said, I have cameras. If I have to go and check to see if you looked, and I did never have, he just found out at the age of 18 that I never had cameras in my house, but he never lied to me because he thought I did. He said, did you have cameras? I said, no, baby, I did not. And I apologize for telling you that, but I knew that the type of kid you were, you needed to have some incentive to tell me the truth. And now he tells me way too much. That's almost embarrassing. I'll be like, okay, okay, but one child at a time, one household at a time. We
Mm,
need community. We may not think we don't need each other, but that's how we survive. We are
yes.
tribal. Once we put our minds together, like what we're doing right here and now, we're so powerful.
Yes.
Prayers of the righteous do avail of much. And so
Yes.
you don't think I pray over them, pray over their school, teach them to pray for me, you know? um, it's because I know they have a pure heart. And you can't tell a little girl she ain't a healer.
Mm,
Lay up, she'll put her hands on you in a minute.
yeah.
But, and know about stones. Everything that I have come into awareness, I slowly introduce that to them. And
Mm,
so, and to give honor.
mm.
I mean, the first time she met the queen, she wanted to know, okay, you a queen, who your father? She wasn't but 3 years old. And she gave her a run for her money. Who is like the people? Who your people are? And she would tell me all about your father. And so those are the kinds of things. And one more thing before I was raised in a family. I was the only girl, and there were 4 boys. We never got whoopings for disrespect. You know why? Because my brothers fought each other whenever any one of them got out of check.
Mm,
One would say, "Who you talking to? You
mm.
talking to my mama?"
I
You
know
know,
that's right.
wrestling in the floor. My
Yes, sir.
mother washing dishes and going on about her business because
Yeah.
the oldest one gonna get the next to the youngest. It was 4 of them, and I just was an observer and
Yeah.
a quick learner.
Yes.
And so when you said you wanted to be in the room with the elders, what I found that all I had to do was just be quiet.
Mm,
If
that's
I say nothing and I just didn't ever leave the room and just sat there and was mannerable, and they might look over and like, but I ain't said nothing. So what they gonna tell me to do? Leave?
yeah.
No. So I was able to hear some of the most fantastic stories of my lineage and my ancestors. And today, those things warm my heart. Where I know a lot of people, when they, even when I didn't understand ancestors, people would cry every time they would say their mama name. And I thought the girl had mama just died. Mama been dead 20 years.
Mm,
Okay. But
mm,
was never taught to think about the times and the joyful times that the loving and all the things that they done for you. You
mm,
know, Ifa Duki, what you said about your grandfather, my dad combed my hair and I had some thick hair. All
mm,
I remember is knuckles.
mm,
Knuckles in my head, trying to plait my hair. But we worked as a family. We ate together, as Queen OJ said. There was just different things that you have to um, make happen.
mm,
Oh, no, 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 no. I ain't saying, okay, we know that the iPad and all the things, the devices they have is
mhm.
to do damage, but we also know that we can take anything bad and turn it into good.
Oh
Just
yeah.
doing this internet, how we're doing this podcast,
Yep.
we're thousands of miles away from each other, but yet we're connected.
Hmm.
So she taught herself how to paint. We do things YouTube. She can't go on a lot of things, but channels, we have certain things in place, but it can be positive. She learned to make jewelry. She's
Mm,
10 so, and I mean beautiful items. And so guess what? When it was time for a little kid at school to have a birthday present, she said, "Oh, I think I'll just paint them something."
mm.
I think she painted you something, didn't she, OJ?
Yes, she did.
I
And
see.
and,
mailed it to me.
and mailed it to
Okay.
her. We put frames on it and all kinds of things. So there's things that you can still do as be engaged. Okay, you have device time, but then you have my time. On
Yes.
Wednesdays, we have a date.
Hmm.
We have to decide what we're gonna do. We're gonna ride bicycles. That means I get some exercise, right? Or we gonna just go to the mall and walk or whatever it is. But we have to find keep their little imagination
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
because that's what they are trying to steal
Mm-hmm.
and rob our
Yep.
children of their childhood and their imagination. And
Yes.
so we can keep that alive. We can keep the ancestors and all the things that we teach them, and they will walk around with joy instead of hate and compromise, because that's what they do. I
Mm-hmm.
watched a few of the little shows. Compromise, the little kids lying, trying to hide from the mama,
Yeah.
or in the devices they are got to hit the woman in the head to get the purse in order to get the point in order to go forward in the next game. But it's all just a small slippery slope.
Yes.
And so I always come back to Iwa Pele. Now,
Mm.
was that the right thing to do
Mm.
just because you benefited from that?
Right.
So that's basically, I tell everyone that I get to be in the household. I don't have to. It's not because it's monetarily, uh,
Mm.
you know, but do it help? Of course it does.
That's sure.
But not only does it help me, it helps my daughter. I don't have to worry about somebody showing them things they ain't got no business showing them, doing things they ain't got no business doing. I'm there. And you can, and when they, and look, they don't want me in their business too, because sometimes they be whispering.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, all she gonna tell you to do is pray, or she gonna tell you to do an affirmation, I'm gonna tell her to go back upstairs and come back down. Try one more time. How all these things. Did you meditate today? What's on your mind? Transform your thinking. Change the attitude. Well, my mom didn't tell me that,
Mm.
but my mom had love, and love covers a multitude of fault. Right? It reaches from heart to breast to breast. She gave me what she had.
Mm.
What she didn't have, the spirit gave me sisterhoods. I've always been around older women. Gave me a mother-in-law who made sure she was a gangster from Chicago. Wasn't nothing happening. Wasn't nobody putting a finger on this butterfinger, okay?
No,
So
that's
I
right.
just want the people out there to know the truth, that they can take one child, even if it ain't yours.
Yeah.
You're not gonna disrespect me if you my girlfriend's son or whatever. If
Yeah.
I'm in the room,
Yeah.
you're gonna be held to the same accountability as any child that walks in my life. Nope,
Oh yeah.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So they get themselves together, because guess what? Kids love for someone to care about what happens, to give them
Yes.
some kind of
Yes.
framework. And,
Yeah.
and and I had one that had got caught stealing, and the mother called me and said, "Tell her what you did." And oh no, please don't say it no more. Don't tell, no, no, because he knew I held him in high regards,
Yes.
and I let him know that yes, you can make a mistake, and you just don't have to do it again. You can
Mm.
do something different. So,
Mm.
with that, much love to the community. Thank you for allowing me to speak
I should.
and
No, I
share.
love it. Listen, and hopefully, if we got time, I got like two, maybe two, three more questions if y'all will graciously allow me. But one of them, and I love everything that you shared first and foremost. And when you said the love thing, that brought me back to working in the community with the youth, with young brothers who got in trouble with the law and got charges, whether it was big boy charges too, unfortunately, like drug charges, gun charges, you name it. But I remember one day it was on my spirit to ask them, and I think at that day it might have been maybe like 8 to 10 of them in the room, and I just recall my spirit, it kind of led me to ask them, when was the last time you've had another man or male, somebody positive in your life, tell you that they love you? And it almost broke my heart because nobody raised their hand to be able to say that another man's told them that.
Yeah,
And so when I saw that, I'm like, well, let me tell y'all something. I love you. I love every single one of y'all. So if you don't hear it again for another, I don't know how long, just know you heard it here from me, because I do. And I'm not here if I didn't. So trust and believe. I'm not saying that for a fact. And at that point, I feel like I built enough of a rapport that they knew I wasn't somebody who wanted to say stuff just to say it. Like I speak my truth. I do it
Sure.
unapologetically. But I wanted to say that because it meant something to me. And shout out to Baba Fumyemi, because it was a brother from my Ile who said it to me, and I can't lie and say that it didn't catch me off guard, because it did. me and my pops say it to each other, and, like my uncles and my children, things of that nature. But as far as like brothers who I'm are cool with or I'm friends with, whatever, we don't do that. It's not a normalized thing. So when the brother said it to me, it kind of was a shock. It was kind of like a culture shock, or a shock to my system a little bit, in a good way though, because I'm like, yo, I love you too, bro. Like I like that. Like I need to start, incorporating that. So that particular day, that kind of resonated in my spirit to say it to the young brothers, because it means a lot. And everything you just said, I feel like that was the icing on the cake, with knowing, I know personally that when you show the young people and the youth that you care, it really opens up a whole nother level of I feel like not only relatability, but trust, where they begin to trust you. And that's one of the things that I think is the most important with us, with transforming this particular experience right now. But one question I wanted to ask, I want to save this when I
But can I
start.
speak on what you just said, Alicia Benby?
Oh yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Now, I didn't grow up in the household. In the beginning, my mother would never say she loved us, but she showed it.
Yes.
But before she made her transition, she would hug us and say she loved us. So I live with my two sisters, and it's just something we do daily. It's a
Mm,
daily thing for us,
yeah.
saying we love each other.
Okay.
When you care about somebody,
Yes.
that shows. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to give them love. You're going to tell them you love them.
Yes.
So I tell sister all the time, call your mother and tell her you love her.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always, everybody, teeth and tongue fall out, as my mother say. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually they get back together.
Mm-hmm.
When you show love and you give love, as Amistad says, love breaks down the strongest person.
Mm-hmm.
But we are so afraid to be vulnerable to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I raised sons, but I told them I loved them on a daily basis. And that part is missing out of our community.
Yeah.
Morals, character. Where's the love coming from?
Facts. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's coming from the wrong places, and that's why a lot of them get caught up in the traps, the web of foolishness, because it's the opposite people that's kind of, and it's not even real love. It's just, saying attention, but they kind of can, make it seem like love because of the way that they can make transactional, I feel like, experiences or engagement with the youth. But one of the questions too that I wanted to ask, if it's okay, this one came earlier. I started because I really wanted to ask this one in regards to Ms. Shea. She says, "What are the best practices to welcome your mother to your altar or ancestral shrine if you did not have a strong relationship with her, your birth mother, and only healing, and honoring would love to honor her." So I think what she's saying is like, what would be the best way for her to honor her mother from the ancestral realm, even though they didn't have the best relationship while she was here in the physical realm?
Well, she could still talk to her. Just because she's not here in her body doesn't mean she does not exist.
Okay.
You can bring forth that healing right here or right now. You can, when you sitting down and what's her favorite thing? What does she like? Set that beside you and start the conversation. Ask for her forgiveness and tell her you forgive her and to forgive you. And you want to bring your relationship to a place of wholeness and healing. Tell her you love her. Just have a conversation. See her, bring her before you. There's two things you can do. You can bring her before you and make her small. You can get her picture and talk to her picture. Or you can connect your womb to her womb and send all that information, all that energy from womb to womb. And watch and see. Your whole energy is going to shift and she's going to shift. That's how it takes place.
And the umbilical cord too, right?
Through that umbilical cord. Get a picture. Talk to her. Tell her how you feel. If there were some things that you felt like that she didn't do, express that to her. Not in anger, but in a loving way.
Ashe. No, that's
Tell her
powerful.
tell her what you need or what you didn't get. You could actually go back into her womb.
Mm. Whew. Yeah, that's deep. That's real deep. Um, and you shared a lot of different I mean, very powerful prayers. I mean, just a lot of information from the time that we've known each other. Well, I say from the time like prior to you coming on as a guest on the show, because I wasn't even aware that you were who you were when you were in the Patreon until I think it was a little while ago when me and Richard Stone was talking about you, and I was like, "What? I know who that is." Then, like, I couldn't. Like, it was just a difference between me knowing who you were and who he was talking about. He had been talking about you for months, and I'm like, I had no idea this is the same person who comes into the Patreon that be dropping the wisdom on the tribe. So it's like it was amazing how that happened. But I'm definitely grateful, and honored that you do support the tribe the way you do, and that you're a mother of the tribe, and so I'm honored for that, for what you've done since you've been, our mother, and then also, bringing the elders and bringing more of the feminine, divine feminine mother energy, and it really it's divine, and so I want to, for any one of y'all, or if every one of y'all want to leave us with something, that we can kind of, just take to heart and take with us, and put in our tool belt and put it, within us to kind of take the energy and the information and the ashe that was shared tonight, but to apply it in our lives and to really use this, wisdom, because it's not easy to, I won't say it's not easy, but it's not often that we get the opportunity to sit at the feet of some very powerful, wise elders, such as the elders of the night. So, is there anything that y'all would, give us in regards to like to take and to hold on to and to put into action for us to make this shift?
As
I would have
sister,
to.
and we have, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I yield. Go ahead. I can come last. Go.
I would have to say that, it has to start with what your belief system is, and you're practicing it.
Mm,
And you're not just practicing it, you're being about it. You're
mm,
living it. Because children, they can assess when you're phony, you
oh
fake,
yeah,
phony, fraud. Okay.
yes.
So that's that foundation there. And then we we call in our ancestors, those mothers, our, ancient grandmothers, we call them in to assist us
Mm,
in this process of raising these children, and
Yeah.
being that exact. It's just it's there's so many layers.
mm,
We have our support, but that's where we start. I feel that's where we start, when we know when they're in the womb, when they're growing, when they're little, we're showing them. Because even when you have a newborn baby,
mm-hmm,
they kind of, after 2 or 3 hours, they know the routine. I'm going to get my diaper changed. I'm going to get a bottle or a breast. I'm going to have some milk, some warm milk. This is what I expect. I'm my comfort level.
mm,
And that training, you'll see the routine. But there's that, also that stability and that love that they talk about, the closeness when you're held and getting a bottle, or your closeness when you're held and getting a breast.
mm,
That nurturing. um and just bringing about that stability for our family and our children, and communicating. My gosh, communicating.
mm-hmm.
you know
I
That's
said,
my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. And of course, lots of rituals.
listen, look,
Lots of rituals.
that's a private community call right there.
Okay, lots of rituals.
Yes,
Private
sir.
rituals, family rituals, community rituals, all of that.
Mm,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
said,
Well, there is scripture, but there is something that is said. What you just said, rituals. Those who honor the ancient mothers
Mm,
will receive blessings from the north, south, east, west, from above and below, and from within. So to give that respect to whether they are on this side, uh, they say heaven, or if they've already made their transition, just honor your mother, so that your days can be lengthened and that you will receive the blessings that you pray for and that you come to create so that you can walk in your purpose. How was that?
I share my
As sistering, we have an energy, a vibration, and a frequency. There is no sin. We are the original OGs. We are the originators. We are the keepers, the weavers, the beers, the doers. We are the embodies. We the essence of the nothingness. We are the mamas. We're the oracles. We're the healers. We're the teachers. We're the educators. We're the regulators of the sacredness. If we don't see our self-worth and our value, how can we get up to our children? Charity begins at home and it spreads abroad. Everything starts inward and then it moves outward. The reason that I could have come on your show by myself, but I wanted to show other sisters that we don't always have to come to be in the same faith to share a common goal and a common cause. We're all daughters of the mothers, no matter whether we recognize that or not. And as sisters, we have a responsibility to each other. As sisters, we are so powerful through the womb that there's nothing that we cannot achieve. We can shift this whole planet just by praying,
Okay.
coming together for a common cause and a vision. But it starts with the sisters. It starts with your birth mother. It starts with the sister in your family. It starts with all the sisters in your bloodline. When we shift that energy, as Amma said, honor your mother so that your days can be long upon this planet. As Ifaduke said, communication. When you have value of self, you will have value of others. But as sistering, it starts with us. If you see another sister and she might not be living in righteousness, why can't we say something to that sister? We say we elders, but I'm not gonna say nothing. She'll curse me out, or I'd rather. I can handle that. But if I say I care about you, I care about community,
Yep.
then it's up to me to help shift that energy. Sis, well, how do you feel about this? I had a young sister call me today. She's in jail because of a relationship with a guy that don't want her. 2 babies, just had a baby. So it's up to us to make the shift. I had another sister call me. Oh, I'm leaving him. I'm like, why? Is he beating you? What's going on? And I had to tell her. I said, well, you are the one can shift your relationship in your household. It's up to us as the sister to stand together and say, you know what? I'm going to Saturday night every Wednesday. We have a prayer line. And we pray for our family, for our community, and for our friends. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to join ours, but find you a group of sisters. If it's just 2 of you all, and you all start praying to help shift this energy and watch and see what happens. It's up to us, sistering, to shift this planet. No one is more powerful than us. And I'll yield the flow on that.
Sure. No, that's powerful. One last thing, because shout out to Wunam, Nikki Love. It's another one of our mothers, the Ashe mothers. I remember her sharing on one of our interviews a while back about how, I forgot how it was, but maybe one of you may know it too. But she said something along the lines of, if you really wanted to make something happen or needed, to tap into true power to make something happen, whatever it is that you want to make happen. I think at the time we were talking about saving our young brothers, from like the violence of murdering and robbing, all the foolishness that's going on in the streets. But I think that was what we were talking about. But anyway, she was saying that the power of the feminine energy and the Queen mothers is significant enough that if it only had, I think she said like 2 or like 3, sisters that went into nature and like hugged each other around a tree or with a tree or something along those lines. It was just a profound, story that she shared with us in regards to the power of the mothers. And is that something that any of you, know of or aware of, or, something similar? Is that something that can be shared, publicly? Is that something that's private or like
Well, I don't, even if you don't go in nature, we are, I'm going to say imagination.
sure.
When I see another sister, I see sacred and divinity. I don't care what she projecting. I don't care how she acting. When a sister calls me, when she leaves, she's going to leave empowered. She's going to leave enriched. I'm going to raise her up. I'm not going to come down to her. I'm going to bring her up.
Mm,
I'm going to show her that she can do the same things that I can do. I'm going to empower her so she can go forth and empower someone else if she chooses to.
mm,
That's how I deal with other sisters. I share what you can do and who you can be.
mm,
So that's how we can shift that energy. Sure, we can go in nature, but I feel like we're so powerful that we can have a conversation and shift everything.
mm,
When I say a queen mother, to me, a queen mother it's not an age, it's your character.
mm,
It's it's your trust. It's how you treat others. It's working from loving kindness. It's when you're in the presence of another sister, what are you doing? When you're out of the presence of another sister, what are you doing?
mm,
There's no sister that's jealous of me. I'm not better than any other sister. I'm not on a pedestal. No, we're all equal. I'm going to make sure that you understand and understand your power. Now, what you choose to do with that, it's up to you.
mm,
But you can't say you didn't know. You can't say I didn't give it to you. As a matter of fact, I overshare
mm. Yeah, you
because I
sure have
want
with
you to
me.
be able to do it on your own.
Mm,
Find a group of sisters that you can pray with. Find a group of sisters that you can share the vision with, and it changes. Yes, going out in nature, going to the water, giving offerings. We can shift this whole planet.
mm. Sure. Yes, sir.
There's
Sure.
an Ifa book called The Power of Prayer, Iwari. Prayer can change things, especially if your personality matches your essence. See, our personalities are representative.
Mm.
Mm,
So people are talking about the buzzword, the shadow. But this is what I need to say. Can you integrate your shadow with your character? Can you integrate the good and the evil that's in you? Can you bring that to a place of wholeness? Can you integrate that without
mm,
trying to fight it?
Harmony.
Because when you try to fight it, it don't go anywhere. So integrate it. Let it
mm,
come in. There's this say, let the wheat and the tare grow up together, and eventually the tare falls away from the wheat.
mm,
So your personality is your representative. So when you embrace your personality, when you embrace that dark part of you, embrace it. Make it your friend.
mm,
Look at it and see how can it benefit you. Bringing them both together. And when you integrate things, there's no fight.
mm.
So
Sure.
we always talk about, oh, we got to do the shadow work. Okay, well, guess what? Integrate that. You need your shadow. It exists for a reason. That's your moral compass. Really?
Mm, yeah.
Because before you can do anything other than what's right for you, that voice going to say, oh, don't
Mm.
do that. So where's that? If you get rid of that, then how do you know? How do you know how life's going to treat you if you don't go through some things?
Right. Yeah. That's real.
So I'll yield the flow because you done got me started.
Listen, look, if I didn't have such a heavy week, boy, we'd be in this thing as long as I can, as long as y'all have me. But I got to get back at it in the morning. But one thing, one quick question, I should say comment that I wanted to bring to the floor before we close out, though, is shout out to Washington Wellness. She said that she has to, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's a female, but either or, they wanted to know if they could have the number to the prayer line. Is that something that we could share, or is
I
something?
sure can.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. Oops, I have to go and get it.
No problem, no problem. And so, with that though, I want to give thanks to each and every one of y'all for taking the time to join us tonight. You know, and dropping the wisdom, the words of wisdom, and the tribe is going crazy in the comments in regards to like the wisdom and the knowledge that was shared. So, I definitely give gratitude and thanks, and you know, the tribe is sending their gratitude and thanks as well. So, I definitely want to salute each one of y'all and give gratitude to the highest level. Just for coming and sharing your words of wisdom. And we definitely gotta. This is a big mama's house up in here, so we got the tribe just going crazy in regards to all the information that was shared tonight. Excuse me. And
Thank you.
I definitely look forward to hopefully doing it again in the very near future as well.
Thank you for having
Okay,
me.
I'm looking for the number.
Okay. And then shout out to Harmonious Balance said, understand, understand, understand your power and your ashe. You need your shadow. Yeah. Yeah. It's about the power of the polarities, man. I think we was talking about that last night with shout out to Millie. We was talking about that last night with the power of the polarity and how, there's always going to be the opposite end of the spectrum, on the poles. And that's the universe, it's the aspects of life, as above, so below, as within, so without. It's a real thing. Let me see.
Okay, so I'm gonna. How do I put this? Where do I put this?
If you say it out, I'll type it in and share it on the screen.
Okay, so let me see if I can get it out of my contacts without calling somebody.
Gotcha. And we got a lot of people showing love though. Shout out to Harmonious Balance. Shout out to DJ Kiko. Shout out to Divine Grace. Shout out to our Minister SEG, Sister Red, Shay, and Kosi. Yeah.
I'm ready whenever you are, Risha Bemby. It's 720-740-9658. And the access code is 3131287.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again? Listen, you talk about technology. It literally just kicked me out of the whole studio. I don't know how.
Okay, which one you need? The phone number?
Yes, please. And then the access code, because like
Okay,
as soon as you
the
started,
phone number is 720 740 9658.
Okay, 720-740-9658.
9658.
Okay. Got it.
And the access code is 3131287.
Okay, one more time, please.
3131287. And we meet every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, I am going to share this. This is a collective, so everybody prays. So we all take a turn to pray, and we all take a turn to bring our ancestors in. So it's an open forum. There's no right and there's no wrong.
And real quick before let me just make sure I got the because I got the prayer line up, and the access code was at 3131287.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'll share that too. All right, access code. All right. Boom. No, yeah, I appreciate it. So we got the number in there, tribe, and then I'm gonna share the access code as well. So let me get that on the screen. And then I want to give another, shout out to everybody for coming through and just, bringing the energy in the comments, man. It definitely was A powerful show, and I knew it was going to be. I want to give thanks again, to all of y'all for each one of you for coming and sharing your wisdom and your grace, and the mother divine feminine energy in this place. So we definitely give gratitude and thanks, and hopefully we can make it happen again in the very near future.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Tribe, I appreciate y'all for coming and showing up and showing out. And I'll see y'all again on Thursday. We'll be back Thursday at 9 p.m. with shout out to Uncle Hank, brother Risha Stone, and then we're bringing in another one of the masters. We're bringing in Dr. Phil Valentine. So I'm definitely looking forward to that show on Thursday at 9. And then we'll be back, I think, Friday too. So yeah, we got a lot going on this week. And then I'm gonna definitely get with OJ Jimmy to see when we can get the mothers back in this thing expeditiously as soon as possible to bring more of this good, positive, powerful, nurturing, mothering energy, man. Ashe, in this Ashe streets.
Thank you.
Yes.
Wholeness.
All right. So I'll see y'all on the next episode. Tribe, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all on Thursday. We out, family. Peace. Odabo.
All right, wholeness.
Shit.
ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàgbọ́ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo ṣe nígbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́ forsake not your ancestors and praise your.